Today I'm going to be converting the turn signals to amber, ready for UK roads. Currently they flash red and they flash on the brake light. UK law says that they have to flash amber and they have to be independent of the brake lights. So without further ado, let's rip them out and make a start. The first job will be to undo the 3 bolts that are holding the light in place. Somewhere down the line one of the bolts has gone missing because there is only 2 holding this light in place. Once the bolts are undone, it is just the fact of disconnecting this plug which leads into the wiring harness. I don't think it had been undone for many years, which is why it was a little bit of a struggle to get it off. Now it's just the fact of pushing the grommet through the body and that light is ready to come out. Let's repeat the process on the passenger side. This one does seem to have 3 bolts. More worryingly is it seems to come off by hand, which would suggest that it wasn't very tight to start with. It is always nice to see that one is done up tight. Once the bolts are out, again it is just the fact of unplugging from the main harness so that the light is ready to come out. Let's push the grommet through and out it comes. With the bulb holders separated from the light lens, it's now time to unwrap the insulation tape and have a look at the wires. It is clear that this is the original tape from what was fitted from the factory. It is dirty, it is sticky, and it's picked up all the grime because it sits outside of the car. The 2 bulbs are synchronised together. One works as a master, one works as a slave. So one of the bulb holders has 6 wires, and then that splits down and it goes into the other bulb holder which only has 3. I need to make them work independently, so I'm going to be cutting wires in just 1 minute. Please excuse the look on my face, that's my concentration face. This tape seems never ending. With all the tape removed, it's now time to start cutting the orange wires. So as you can see, I'm cutting the 2 orange wires on the master. This isolates the turn signals. Because I only want 1 bulb to flash on turn signals, I'm going to take the slave unit, as that only has 3 wires in it, which is the quicker one to do. At the same time of isolating the orange wires, I'm also going to isolate the brown wire on the slave unit, as that would be the tail light, and I don't need that on the turn signal. I think it is safe to say that my wire strippers and my wire cutters are quite old, and I think they need to be replaced because you can see they are quite blunt. I'm sure I am going to face a lot of criticism here on the way that I'm going to connect these wires together. However, it did work perfectly fine on the taxi, so there's no reason why it wouldn't work on the police car. Starting with the slave unit, what I'm doing here is connecting up the original wire that goes into the main wiring loom. This is for the turn signals. Moving over to the master bulb holder, it's now time to splice into what was originally the turn signal wire. I'll then need to connect this new wire, which will have to run through the car, and that will operate the brake lights. As the wire is going to run from the bulb holders all the way down to the front of the car, I need to make a hole into the grommet so that we can feed the wire through from outside to the inside of the car. With the grommet protecting what is effectively the outside of the car to the inside of the car, I've tried to make the hole for the wire to feed through as small as possible so that it wouldn't have much impact. With the wire threaded through the grommet, it's now time to connect that up to the orange wire that was originally for the turn signals on the master bulb holder. Again, I'm sure I'm going to receive some criticism for the way that I'm putting the wires together. With the wire connected to the bulb holder, it was then time to run the wire down to where the plug is for the loom, and then cut the wire off at that end and then wrap it up with insulation tape like I'm doing here. The reason for cutting the wire where I've cut it at the plug end is so I can run a spade connector, and then that way if I do need to take the lights back out, I can just unplug it. They are now done. All we need to do now is thread the wires through and make them work. All this piece of trim off is hurting me, so at the moment I'm going to have to do a makeshift way with my cable threader. Not the ideal way to do it, but it will work. So all we need to do is just wrap that up and we'll pull it to the other side of the car, nice and easy, just like that. And all we do is just pull it through until it's nice and snug, about there somewhere. And we'll trim that off, put a connector on it, which I don't know if I've got any down here or not. I'll have to have a look. And then we can put that tail light in, and what we've done, connect it up to that connector there. Let's have a look. Now it's just the fact of putting the wires back through the bodywork and pushing the grommet back in, and then pushing the light cluster straight into the holes. I put the bolts back onto the light cluster just to hold it in place so it wouldn't fall out. We repeat the process for the other side. Okay, so I've had to do a bit of trimming. Just round here so that this will fit into here. Isn't that right? Ain't gonna do anything without that one. Voila. And we can start feeding that back through the car. That's in. And then this happened. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. Clearly I've done something wrong there, because it's the turn lights that are lighting up as the brake lights, so I'm going to have to check the taxi wiring and then we'll come back and see what we've done. Okay, so it's getting a bit late in the day, and we've still got the issue going on with the turn signals lighting up with the brake lights or stop lights. So that still needs to be addressed. Now I did double check my wiring against my taxi, which I've done exactly the same, and it doesn't appear that it's in my wiring, so there must be something maybe slightly different in this car. If anybody's got any ideas, let me know. Then on top of that, the LEDs that I've put in with the resistor is also hyper flashing. Not quite sure why that would be either at this stage. So a couple of things to work through, but we'll have to do that in a separate video. So look, thanks as always for watching. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.